I'm seated here to serve all of you for next 3 days on the topic Krishna eating dirt. So for 3 days we will be discussing the pastime of Krishna eating dirt and showing the universe in his mouth. And how this links up to our discussion is that in this place we have had many beautiful discussions in the past. Both of us read the Srimad Bhagavatam in, I think the first week of January, probably the first day of January this year. And we discussed Sri Krishna Rasayanam, starting from Krishna's appearance, Vasudev Maharaj taking Krishna. And we wound up with chapter 7, Trinavarta and Shakatasura, I think, chapter 7, after Putana. And interestingly, in a month to go, Damodar Leela is beginning, right? So that's chapter 9. And we have finished till chapter 7. So I thought to be in this position in the middle, it's good to discuss chapter 8. And that's where Krishna is eating dirt. Very specifically, for those who want to write down, either joining us here or for those who are joining us online, this chapter has many sections. So we are talking about Canto 10 of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 8. So this chapter has many sections. It starts off with Garga Muni or Gargacharya going all the way to Nanda Maharaj's place to give names to Krishna and Balaram. It is so beautiful that Gargacharya was given the task of naming Krishna as Krishna and naming Balaram as Balaram, the names that we chant every day. These names are eternal, but Gargacharya is just giving the eternal Lord an eternal name in his eternal pastime. So that's the first section of this chapter. The second section of this chapter is where Krishna is performing mischief. Krishna has become a very naughty boy with Balaram. So it's very beautifully explained. So of course this is beyond the scope of the 3-day or 3-session discussion. So I highly encourage all those devotees who are interested to read that section. In that section, just to give you a glimpse, Shukadeva Goswami says, Janubhyam saha panibhyam. Janubhyam means the knees, and panibhyam means hands. So Krishna and Balaram are walking with their hands and knees, which means they're almost crawling. And so beautifully it is described that the mud in Vrindavan used to be wet. And Krishna and Balaram would roll in that wet mud and would be smeared completely with cow dung and cow urine and mud and the dust of Braja. Mother Yashoda would dress Krishna up so beautifully with sandalwood paste and kasturi tilak and musk and aguru and camphor, all these fragrances with beautiful ornaments. But Krishna would go out and throw all these ornaments and put the dust of Vrindavan as his talcum powder. And so much so that Krishna would crawl and Krishna and Balaram would hear the ankle bell sounds. And they would go running because now they can't run fast and see who's that Mataji. So from behind they're crawling to see where that sound is coming from. And they almost think it's Mother Yashoda and Mother Rohini respectively. So they go there and hold the feet. And the Brajagopi looks down. And lo and behold, it's not Mother Yashoda or not Mother Rohini. So Krishna and Balaram start crying. At this point it is described that Balaram would have a nice waist belt. And he would also have ankle belts. So he would crawl and there used to be tinkling sound of his waist belt and ankle belts. So he would stop. Where's that sound coming from? So he would turn back. And there is no sound. And then again. Again there is no sound. Again he would start and again this tinkling sound. Again he would look back and there is no sound. At this point there is a very beautiful commentator in the line of Shripad Vallabhacharya, the Rudra Sampradaya, by the name Shripad Hari Suriji. So Sripad Harisuriji comments at this point. So beautiful. He says, why is Balram not walking, and why is he crawling? With his hands, why is he crawling like this? And why is Krishna also crawling like this? Why they're not walking although they can? Harisuriji, as a commentator, he comments that Krishna and Balaram are almost patting the back of Mother Earth to say, you are so tolerant. So many of these rascals, unsaintly kings are committing crime on your back, and you are tolerating all of that. Oh Mother, they're massaging the back of Bhumi Devi. Don't worry. They are creating weight on your back. We will not walk on you. Don't worry. We will not increase your weight. But instead, we will just comfort you. We'll do a massage for your back so that you feel comfortable. And then Sripad Harisuriji also comments, what is Balaram teaching by looking behind? So Balaram is as white as a conch shell, a shank. So if you see the shank, it has lines, and those are the lines that are created in the neck when Balaram is looking back, because he's as white as a conch shell. And he's as small as a conch shell, and he's twisted behind, so there are 3 lines, as if to hold like a conch shell. So Balaram is teaching that the process of blowing the conch shell that we have first represents him, that is Guru Tattva. The process of Arati represents worshipping Krishna, but there is no Arati without blowing the conch shell, which means no one can get to Krishna Bhakti without Guru Bhakti. Isn't it so beautiful? Are you all relishing it? Yes? Okay. So, Balaram represents Guru Tattva. So he's looking at the back, representing a conch shell. That before every arati or worship of Krishna, there's the blowing of the conch shell. That is Guru Tattva. So nobody can worship Krishna without Guru. So in this way, Krishna and Balaram frolicked and played so many beautiful pastimes as they're crawling. They would hold the tail of calves, and they would try to squeeze the tail of the calf because it used to be so soft. But at this point, the calf is also a few days, a few months old, few weeks old. So the calf gets scared, and the calf starts running in fear, thinking that there's some other animal trying to chew into my tail. And as the calf is running, Krishna and Balaram, now they're too scared to let go. So they're holding the tail of the calf is running, and Krishna and Balaram are closing their eyes, and they're having a roller coaster ride. And Krishna and Balaram, with their chest being smeared with the dust of Vrindavan, are enjoying so beautifully. So we find even now in Vrindavan, there is a term called Ghasita Ram. You've all heard? In Hindi, Ghasitna means to drag, and Ram means Balaram, or Ramyate, that Lord Sri Krishna who's so attractive, Ramaniya. But it is not Ghasita Ram. It is Ghasita Ram. So when the cows and when the calves would run, Krishna and Balaram would not let go, and the calf would not let go. And finally, one of the Gopas had to come and say, "Hey, we want our Krishna back. What are you doing?" He's supposed to protect you, and you're supposed to protect him. Right? Your community protects Krishna, and Krishna as Gopal protects you. But now, both of you are not protecting each other. Come on, do justice to your name. And they stop the calf, and they let go of Krishna. So many beautiful pastimes are described. And as they grow up, Shukadeva Goswami describes that now they start walking without touching their knee to the floor. Which means they don't start walking, they start running. In the Damodar Ashtaka, what does Sripad Satyavrata Muni say? Namamishwaram Satchit Anandarupam Lasat Kundalam Go Kule Brajamanam. So he says this Namami Ishwaram, he is the Supreme Lord. Satchit Anandarupam. Oh, he has a very beautiful form. But Lasat Kundalam. He has earrings which are swinging. Now you tell me, whenever you describe about someone, who is that person who starts the description with the earrings? Isn't there any good part in Krishna's body to start the description from? Why the earrings? And why the swinging earrings is the question. Now the reason I'm just whetting your appetite a bit is because very soon we're going to start singing this. So this is our meditation as we're singing about Damodar. Why the earrings? And why the swinging earrings? Sripad Sanatan Goswami in his commentary, he says, earrings because they are the only ornament in Krishna's body who have the privilege of kissing Krishna's cheeks. Even the necklace don't, even the bracelet don't, even the waist belt or the anklets don't. The anklets touch Krishna's feet. They teach us Sharanagati. They teach us Atmanivedanam. But the earrings teach us Vatsalya. Kissing Krishna's cheek back and forth. Therefore they are described. But why swinging earrings? Because till now Shukadev Goswami has never described the point where Krishna has learned to walk, what to speak of run. So when you crawl, your earrings don't swing. When you walk, your earrings move. But only when you learn to run, do your earrings swing back and forth. So indirectly, Satyavrat Muni is saying, I am describing that Krishna who has not just learned to walk, but he has also learned to run. So very beautifully Shukadev Goswami describes, when Krishna and Balaram started running, oh, how naughty they became. How naughty. He says, they were the most naughtiest kids in the whole creation. Naughtiness and mischief must also originate in the Supreme Lord. So, Shringi, which means they would hold onto animals with sharp horns. Krishna and Balaram would search for the most dangerous, deadliest animal around with sharp horns. And they would go and say, I want to touch the tip of those horns. And Agni. Whenever they would see fire, Krishna and Balaram would run, yeah, I want to put my hand into the flames of the fire. And Mother Yashoda has to pick up Krishna and said, no, stop being so naughty. Go and touch wherever you want, but don't touch fire. And Krishna would say, no, he's calling me. I have to go and touch, put my hand into fire. So the horns of dangerous animal, fire. Third, Damshtri, which means they would go and put their hand into the mouth of animals with sharp teeth, like monkeys. Krishna and Balaram would say to a monkey, can you open your mouth? I want to put my hand into it. Fourth, Ahi. Whenever they would see a serpent, they want to play with the serpent and embrace the serpent. 5, whenever they would see a sword, really sharp sword, they want to go and have a body massage with the sword. That's how naughty Krishna and Balaram were. And Jala. Whenever they would see really deep and dense water bodies, they would tell Mother Yashoda, I want to swim into it. I want to see how deep this water body is. And not just Jala. It is also described after that whenever they would see birds, really big, dangerous birds, they want to go and put their hand into the beak of the bird. And they want to go really close to the bird, like vultures and eagles and big, big cranes. And finally, thorns, really sharp thorns. They want to walk barefoot on the thorns and see how it feels. So Mother Yashoda and Mother Rohini needed no workout. They just needed to keep Krishna and Balaram out of all this trouble. At this point, Sripad Harisuriji, he comments a very, very juicy, delicious viewpoint. What does he say? He says Krishna is giving a foretelling, a futuristic prediction of what he is going to do in the future. 1, Shringi, which means sharp horns of an animal. Krishna is showing all the readers of the Bhagavatam, very soon I'm going to kill Arishtasur. The bull with the horns. Is everybody understanding? Second, Agni. By putting his hand into fire, he's telling the readers of the Srimad Bhagavatam, oh, very soon I'm going to swallow the forest fire. I'm going to swallow forest fire. How many times did Krishna swallow the forest fire? Reading of the Sri Krishna book ki jai. 2 times, yes. Yes. The Krishna book describes there were 2 forest fires. The first forest fire was after the destruction of Kaliya, chastisement of Kaliya. All the residents of Vrindavan, they were so tired to go back that night they slept in the forest. And one messenger of Kamsa Maharaj, he set the forest on fire. So Krishna swallowed the fire once. And second, when all his cows, they all went. They were lost. They were stuck in a forest of munja grass, really sharp grass, and they couldn't come out. At that time, they cried out to Krishna, and Krishna swallowed the forest fire for the second time. So by touching fire as a baby, Krishna is saying, oh, in the future, I'm going to swallow forest fire. 3, by putting his hand into the mouth of animals, Hari Suriji is writing, Krishna is predicting in the future, what to speak of my hand, I am going to enter into the body of an animal called Aghasur. Is everybody trying to correlate? The baby mischief of Krishna, the commentator is trying to map with what's coming up in the future. Then, 4th, water snake, Ahi Jala. Which one? Kaliya. Yes, the water snake, Kaliya. Then, after that it's described, he would put his hand into the mouth of birds. Bakasura, yes. And finally, Krishna would want to walk on the thorns of Mother Earth, meaning the unsaintly kings. He wants to uproot all the thorn-like kings in the future. So in this way, by Shringagni Damshtra, Ahijala, Dvijakantha, Srimad Bhagavatam describes Krishna would hold the horns of animals, representing Arishtasura, killing of Arishtasura. Krishna would put his hand into fire, representing the future swallowing of the forest fire. He would put his hand into the mouth of animals with teeth, representing Aghasura. He would go and touch water snakes, representing Kaliya. He would go and put his hand or stay close to birds with beak, representing Bakasura. And finally, he would play with the thorns of Mother Earth, representing all the unsaintly kings. Now, having said all this, Srila Shukadeva Goswami says, this was just the beginning of their mischief. What happened after that was Krishna and Balaram became so naughty that they would go up the piles of stacked up boxes and start breaking butter pots in the neighborhood. Krishna was so naughty, he would go from one house to another breaking butter pots. In fact, all the Braja Gopis would wake up during the last section of the Brahma Muhurta. So Krishna and all his friends would wake up before Brahma Muhurta to mark which house to attack that day. And they would go and they would start attacking one butter pot after another. And all that butter would be on the floor. And they would all come and complain to Mother Yashoda, do you know how naughty your Krishna is? One gopi after another. But Srila Shukadeva Goswami very beautifully he describes that none of them actually had any problem with Krishna. Mudam. Mudam means pleasure. All the Braja Gopis found pleasure when Krishna would come to their house. In fact, they would pray to Vishnu. The proof that our butter is tasty is the fact that the son of Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, Sri Krishna, should himself come in person, put his hand into these butter pots and eat it. If he does that, we will be convinced that our butter is tasty. So beautiful. They would go and complain to Mother Yashoda, your Krishna is so naughty. He's breaking all these butter pots. He's eating all this butter, and sometimes he doesn't even eat them. He just smells the butter and he says, old stock. And he would just throw the butter pot and say, why don't you keep good butter in your house? What's this stinking butter? And at other times, he would call monkeys and with his own hands feed the monkeys. One monkey after another, after another, after another, and the Braja Gopi is seeing. Even if you eat with your own hand, Krishna, that's fine. But you're feeding these monkeys. And Krishna would feed the monkeys one after another so much, so that after a point the monkey would say, enough. And Krishna would tell the Braja Gopi, look at your butter. This butter is so useless. Even the monkeys don't want it. They're also breaking the pots and they say, no, this butter I don't want. And one gopi after another, they would come and complain to Mother Yashoda. They would say how Krishna would break butter pots, how he would eat butter, he would smear it all over the place. Sometimes when the butter is not so good, he would just take it and have wall paintings and graffiti out of it. It's all over the place. The pillar, the ceiling, the floor, the columns, all over the place. And he would hide the pots. Now she has to not just clean the butter, but also find the pots. And other gopis would complain how Krishna would pass urine all over their house when he would not get butter. And Krishna would pinch their babies and make them cry. And when the babies would cry, Krishna would say, the mistakes that the parents make, the babies got to suffer for it. You have to be under the laws of karma. Tell your mother to satisfy me. Samsiddhir haritoshanam. If you satisfy me, no problem. Or else I got to punish you. And they would come and tell Mother Yashoda. And this was all like music to the ears of Mother Yashoda. She would laugh. Now the point is, were the gopis actually complaining? The answer is no. They were just finding some means to have Hari Katha. They cannot sit with their kartal and mridanga and say, Nanda Yashoda Dulal, Girivaradhari Gopal, Jaya Nanda Yashoda Dulal, Girivaradhari O Jaya Nanda Yashoda Dulal, Girivaradhari Gopal, Jaya Nanda Yashoda Dulal, Girivaradhari Gopal, 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 Jaya Nanda Yashoda Dulal, Girivaradhari Gopal, Jaya. Yashoda Nandan Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki. So they cannot do this. Because all their mother-in-laws and sister-in-laws will come and say, hey, what are you doing? There's so much work at home and you're doing all this bhajan and kirtan. And they cannot have Bhagavatam class. They don't have a temple. They cannot worship Krishna because they're worshipping Narayana, the one with 4 hands. But their heart is towards Krishna. So what to do? So they have to find some means by which they can have Shravanam, Kirtanam and Krishna Smaranam. So Shravanam, one gopi is complaining and all other gopis are listening to this Hari Katha. And then Kirtanam, the gopi who's speaking is doing Kirtanam and everyone including Mother Yashoda is doing Krishna Smaranam. So Mother Yashoda would never punish Krishna. She would just pick up the stick to scare him. Krishna, and then immediately tears streaming down his eyes. That's all. So she would never slap Krishna, never pinch Krishna, never hit Krishna. Krishna would otherwise dial 911 probably. Mother Yashoda, domestic violence. But she would never do that. When the gopis would come and complain, Mother Yashoda would say, you take as many pots as you want from my house. And whatever loss you have incurred, I'll give you double. Don't worry. But let Krishna break his pots. He's happy, you're happy, I'm happy. Let him just do it. So let him just do it. As the logo. Just do it. I don't think you got it. Okay, all right. Everybody's thinking, yeah, right. So at this point, when the Braja Gopis are complaining, Krishna is sitting there very innocent. And Mother Yashoda looks at Krishna and she tells the Braja Gopis, look at his face. You don't even feel that he's so notorious. Braja Gopis are saying, don't go on his face value. As he's sitting here listening to all these complaints, in his mind, he's making plans where to attack next. This is what is going on in his mind. So after that section, Srila Shukadeva Goswami speaks this section of Krishna eating dirt. So till now, whatever I spoke, I was creating the context, the background story to the actual story. Because if I start with the actual story, we won't have any frame of reference. So in this pastime, this is a sandwiched pastime. Previous to this, the gopis are complaining. In this, gopas are complaining that he ate dirt. And in the next pastime, next chapter, Mother Yashoda is binding Krishna. So this is a very beautiful section. It spans Canto 10, Chapter 8, text 32 to text 47. So about 16 verses for those who want to study this section. Let's start our discussion. So this is text 32 on the screen right there. Please chant. Ekada kridamanaste Ramadhya gopadarakaha Krishno mridam bhakshitavan iti matre nyavedayan ekada kridamanaste Ramadhya gopadarakaha Krishno mridam bhakshitavan iti matre nyavedayan ekada kridamanaste Ramadhya gopadarakaha Krishno mridam bhakshitavan iti matre nyavedayan. Please chant. Vaishnavis? One last time, can we all chant together? Very nice. So this is the start of this pastime. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation. One day while Krishna was playing with his small playmates, including Balram and other sons of the Gopas, all his friends came together and lodged a complaint to Mother Yashoda. Mother, they submitted, Krishna has eaten earth. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Here is another of Krishna's transcendental activities invented. Please remember the word. Prabhupada is saying invented in the purport. Here is another of Krishna's transcendental activities invented to please the gopis. First, a complaint was lodged with Mother Yashoda about Krishna stealing. That is what we previously described. But Mother Yashoda did not chastise him. Now, in an attempt to awaken Mother Yashoda's anger so that she would chastise Krishna, another complaint was invented. Again, the word is used, that Krishna had eaten earth. Okay. Now, we'll move back to this verse, that is 32, the Sanskrit on the top. Yes. So everybody is able to see the verse? Now we'll do something called as dissection. We will open up each word and we will analyze as to why Shukadeva Goswami said whatever he said. Let's begin. The first word is ekada. So the word da refers to time in Sanskrit. So whenever you have to say when, the word used is yada. Whenever, yada. Understand? And when Krishna says, oh, at that time, tada tmanam shajamyaham, da again. When we have to say all the time, sarvada. So da means time. Now Shukadeva Goswami, like a master storyteller, starts the story by saying, once upon a time. Ekada. So what is the situation? Kridamanaste. Everybody's playing. Krida means playing. So everybody's playing. All the boys are playing. What's the next word? Ram. The word Rama here, does it refer to Maryada Purushottam Sri Ram of Ayodhya? Does it refer to Parashuram? It refers to Balaram. Ramadhyaha, which means Sri Ram, etc. Along with his friends. Gopadarakaha, which means the cowherd boys. Gopadaraka means the cowherd boys. What did they do? Krishna mridam bhakshitavan. The word mridam, mrida means mud. Like we use the word mridanga. Right? Anga means body. And mrit means mud. Oh, that person whose body is made out of mud and clay is mrit anga. So, Krishna mritam or mridam bhakshitavan. We know the word bhakshanam, which means to eat, right? Food. Bhakshitavan. Oh, Krishna has eaten dirt. Iti means thus. This is what they said. Matre, to the mother, Mother Yashoda. Nyavedayan. The word nyavedayan as in Hindi, nivedan. What does nivedan karna mean? Vinti, to request, right? So this is the general meaning. Now, like the cops do, like all this FBI do, when there's a crime scene, they seal the place and they look for every strand of hair. And they analyze for proofs. So we as devotees must study Srimad Bhagavatam like that. So we'll seal this verse from all sides. And now let's enter and dive in. What's happening? Krishna has eaten dirt, and all the friends of Krishna, headed by Balaram, they go and complain to Mother Yashoda. This is the scene, right? Now the question is, why the word Ramadhyaha? Adi means etc., right? Ramadhyaha, Adi, Adhyaha means etc. Ramadhyaha, which means Rama and his friends. What does that mean? Two meanings. First meaning, generally Balram plays with Krishna's friends. Krishna has his own age group of friends, younger than Krishna, and Krishna bosses over all of them. In this pastime, Krishna is about 2.5. Because after this is Damodar Leela where he's 3. Yeah? So Krishna is about 2 to 2.5 here. So Krishna has his friends younger than Krishna's age, whom Krishna bosses around. And Balaram sometimes plays with Krishna's friends, or sometimes Krishna plays with Balaram's friends, who are of the same age group as Balaram, older than Krishna. So here Shukadeva Goswami is saying, Krishna is playing with Balaram's friends. Ramadhyaha. Understand? It is not that Balaram is playing with Krishna's friends here. Ramadhya. Which means Krishna is switching to play with Balaram's friends. All the bigger boys. This is the first meaning. Second meaning. The word Ram. Adi. Adi means first. What does this mean? Oh, it was Balaram who went and complained to Mother Yashoda. Adi. He was the first person who went and complained to Mother Yashoda that Krishna has eaten dirt. Now the point is, why would he do that? It was said by our acharyas that Krishna was in seclusion, sitting alone and scratching some mud out and eating. So some of the boys came there and they said, Krishna, you're sitting alone here and eating dirt? You're not supposed to eat dirt. Krishna looked at that boy and said, you don't teach me what to do and what not to do. At home, my parents boss over me. In public, Balaram bosses over me. And now in private, you're coming and bossing over me. The scriptures describe Swarat. I am the independent Lord. I can't see that. So Krishna told the friend, I know what to do. You go. Let me do what I want to do, at least in seclusion, Baba. What is this going on? So the friend said, yeah, you eat. I'll go and complain to your Dauji. Now you see what is going to happen. So the friend went and complained to Dauji, Balaram. And then Balaram said, is it? Krishna's not just eating dirt, he's also very sharp in his response. This is not correct. I will take this onus, this responsibility on my shoulder, and I will go and complain to Mother Yashoda so that Krishna is put back on track. Ramadhya. So it was Ram first who went. So as I'm speaking, keep an eye on the verse as well, because we are tracking the verse word by word. Is everybody understanding? And is everybody there in the discussion? Okay. Now the question could be, were the boys actually complaining against Krishna to settle scores with him, to put him down? Because sometimes kids go and complain to tease or to bully or to put someone down, to mock someone. But is that the mood, is the question. The answer is no. And there are 4 proofs for it in this one verse. That the friends were really concerned for Krishna. What if Krishna eats dirt and that's mixed with poison, for example? So please note, 2 chapters ago, Putana Maya came. Putana Devi, Her Grace Putana Devi Dasi. She came, 6th chapter, and she smeared poison all over Braj Mandal. So now the friends are really scared. What if one drop of that poison is mixed somewhere and Krishna's eating? Or what if that mud has some urine of other animals? Because it was not just cows and calves. They also had goat and other animals. So what if that, the dung or the urine of animals? Or what if it had ants? Or what if it had things which won't digest? It would cause stomach upset for Krishna. So out of concern they went. What are the 4 proofs? Proof number 1. The word used here is not Balaram. What is the word used? Ram. If Shukadev Goswami would have said Bala, strength, we could have analytically said he's using his strength to overpower Krishna. That he's the older brother. He's using his strength. But the word used is Ram. Ramante yogino nante satyananda chidatmani. Iti Rama padenasau parabrahma vidiyate. The Ramatapani Upanishad describes, what's the meaning of the word Ram? He who's always in pleasure and he who only knows how to give pleasure to people around is Ram. So he wants to give pleasure to Mother Yashoda by saving Krishna's life. He wants to give pleasure to his friends by making sure that Krishna's safe. He wants to give pleasure to himself by the fact that he's doing his duty as an older brother. And he wants to give pleasure to Krishna by keeping his health intact. See how much depth is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. Shukadeva Goswami could have said Bala, but he's not saying Bala. Here Balaram is not using his strength to bully Krishna down. He is Ram. He is very pleasurable. So this is the first proof that he is not trying to settle scores. Second proof, the word used is Gopa, right? Can everybody see the word Gopa? The word Gopa by definition means Gopayanti Krishnam iti Gopa. That community which always thinks of protecting Krishna is Gopa. That's the definition. So how can the children of that community think of settling scores with Krishna? They are only thinking of protecting Krishna. Is everyone there in this discussion? Okay. Don't lose track because Shukadeva Goswami is giving nectar. Maya will try to allure us out. But tell Maya, no, this time is for Srimad Bhagavatam. I have got this human form of life after millions and millions of lifetimes. And in that life, if inattention and sleep takes over, what have I gained? So everybody, please wake up. Uttishtata. Jagrata. Prapya varanni bodhata. Wake up and very enthusiastically, utsahat, nishchayat, dhairyat. Let us hear Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. So what was the first proof that they're not settling scores? Who's going to explain to me with your hand up? Yes. I almost have to be Paramatma to listen to you. I can't hear you. Can you be a little audible? Yes, very beautiful. He's person filled with pleasure, so he's just filled with concern. Second, what was the second? Gopa. The word Gopa means that community which always thinks of protecting Krishna. So how can children from that community think of settling scores with him? They're always thinking of protecting Krishna. This is the second proof. Third proof, the word Dāraka. Do we see? Ramadhya, Gopa. Now the word Dāraka is very beautiful. Dara refers to Mother Yashoda. And Ka means to give pleasure. Those friends who time and again come and keep speaking to Mother Yashoda, what Krishna did today, what Krishna did yesterday, what Krishna is going to do tomorrow, to give pleasure to Mother Yashoda, they are Darakas. So, they just want to give pleasure to Mother Yashoda by protecting Krishna. This is the third proof. And fourth proof, the word used is Nyavedayan. They humbly requested Mother Yashoda, can you look at Krishna? Because if it was to settle scores, they would say, yes, Krishna is doing this, can you just look at him? But they were not authoritative. They were very humble. We really want you to take care of Krishna. Can you please go? We are requesting you. Can you go and take care of Krishna? He's eating dirt. So the quiz time. What were the different aspects that you learned from this verse? What does the word ekada mean? Once upon a time. And krida manaste, krida, they were all playing. Balaram was playing with Krishna's friends, correct? Krishna was playing with his own friends. And you get to know that meaning from which usage? Ramadhya. What else does the word Ramadhya mean? Ram Adi. Oh, who complained to Mother Yashoda? Balaram. Because now, out of concern. 4 different reasons or proofs that it was out of concern. What are they? 1, Ram is filled with pleasure, so he wants to give pleasure to everyone around. 2nd, Gopa refers to that community which doesn't want to protect Krishna, correct? They want to protect Krishna. 3, Dharaka means those who want to give pleasure to Mother Yashoda. And the 4th proof, Nyavedayan or Nivedan, which means they want to request Mother Yashoda that please take care of Krishna. And what does the line Krishna Mridam Bhakshitavan mean? Krishna has eaten dirt. Oh Mother Yashoda. So this is text 32. Now our acharyas come into picture. They start playing. Our acharyas are like expert swimmers who are swimming from one wave of one verse to another. Very poetically. When pure devotees bring in poetry to Bhagavatam, then it's explosive. So the acharyas are explaining. Why did the friends complain to Mother Yashoda? Of course, first reason was out of concern. Second reason, they say, Mother Earth has a name called Rasa Devi, which means she who brings in taste. All the crops and everything grow from Mother Earth. So the friends are thinking, if her name is Rasa, which means taste, how tasty would she be? Till now, all the tasty things that Krishna enjoyed, like milk and butter and yogurt, he would always plunder with us. Now Krishna is plundering taste personified all by himself. Now we're not going to let him go. We want to complain. He wants to enjoy rasa all by himself, Mother Earth all by himself. We will complain. Did everybody understand? It's very poetic and very delicious. Now the question is, Balram was not a thief, stealing butter and yogurt. So what was his problem? The acharyas say, Balram knew that Krishna has come to reduce the burden of Mother Earth in his avatar. But he didn't know this is how he's going to do it, by eating all the mud. Krishna has said, Dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge, that I have come to reduce the burden of Mother Earth by killing all the unsaintly kings on the back. But Balaram starts thinking, Krishna is so innocent, he thinks he can reduce the burden of Mother Earth by eating mud, one morsel after another. Better let me just go and tell Mother Yashoda, the intention is right, but this is not how you do it. Stop him right now. Stop him. This is not how you reduce the burden of Mother Earth. And finally another acharya comes in poetically and he says, Balaram thinks to himself, Krishna is always touching my property. Why? Because Mother Earth is on the head of Anantashesh. So Balaram is thinking, Krishna, when he came as Varaha, he lifted Mother Earth. I didn't say anything. When he came as Vamana, he kicked Mother Earth in the second step and ruptured and Ganga came into this world. Now, he's going and kissing Mother Earth with his lips. This is too much. I better go and complain. Did you all enjoy? This is poetry mixed with Srimad Bhagavatam. So the curtains open at 8:20. Okay, I'll just keep that in mind. So this is text 32. Now what happens is in the next text. So can we move this to text 33? Yeah, the next one. Sagrihitva kare Krishnam Upalabhya hitaishini Yashoda bhaya sambhranta Prekshanaksham abhashata. Please chant. Matajis? Translation. Upon hearing this from Krishna's playmates, Mother Yashoda who was always full of anxiety. Shri Jagannath, Shri Baladev, Shri Subhadra Rani ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So I'll read the translation again. Upon hearing this from Krishna's playmates, Mother Yashoda, who was always full of anxiety over Krishna's welfare, picked Krishna up with her hands to look into his mouth and chastise him. Her eyes, fearful, she spoke to her son as follows. So we'll read the next text as well, 34, because this doesn't have a purport. Kasman mridam adantatman bhavan bhakshitavan raha vadanti tavakayete kumaraste grajopyayam. Kasman mridam adantatman bhavan bhakshitavan raha vadanti tavakayete kumaraste grajopyayam. So Mother Yashoda is speaking to Krishna now. Dear Krishna, this is the translation of 34, why are you so restless that you have eaten dirt in a solitary place? This complaint has been lodged against you by all your playmates, including your elder brother Balram. How is this? Purport. Mother Yashoda was agitated by Krishna's restless behavior. Her house was full of sweetmeats. Why then should the restless boy, Prabhupada is saying, why then should the restless boy, that's Krishna, eat dirt in a solitary place? Krishna replied, my dear mother, they have plotted together and lodged a complaint against me so that you will actually punish me. My older brother Balram has joined them. Actually, I have not done this. Take my words as true. Do not be angry and chastise me. Now, we'll go back to 33 in the text. 33 and 34 will be the discussion. So, Shukadeva Goswami is saying, what was the last point we discussed in our discussion before the reading of the text? The friends went to complain. Did they take Krishna with them? No, that's not described. So which means Krishna was seated in the solitary place trying to reduce the burden of Mother Earth, one morsel after another. And all the friends go. And at that time when they go and complain to Mother Yashoda, it is described, Sa grihitva kare Krishnam. The word grihitva refers to take something. What did she take? She took a stick in her hand. As I previously said, Mother Yashoda would never hit Krishna. Their relationship was very sweet. Very, very sweet. It's described that one time, Mother Yashoda told Krishna, Krishna, you got to study. Krishna said, what am I got to study? Mother Yashoda said, you have to study Shastra. Krishna said, what is going to happen if I study Shastra? And first of all, what does the Shastra describe about whom? Mother Yashoda says, the Shastra describes Tattva, philosophical truth. Krishna says, about whom? Mother Yashoda says, about that great person. Krishna says, who is he? Mother Yashoda says, oh, he's the Lord of the three worlds, the upper, middle and lower. Krishna says, okay, what if I know about him? Mother Yashoda says, Jnanam, you'll become knowledgeable. Krishna says, what after that? Mother Yashoda says, you will get devotion, bhakti. Krishna says, what after that? Mother Yashoda says, after bhakti you will get virakti, detachment. Krishna says, what after that? Mother Yashoda says, if you get virakti, you will get mukti, liberation. Krishna says, what after that? Mother Yashoda says, then you will be happy. Krishna says, now I know what my Shastra is. He takes his butter pot and starts eating. Says, oh, this is Shastra. If I study this, I become happy. So Mother Yashoda hits to the forehead. And the Acharya says, oh, may this beautiful combination of Krishna and Mother Yashoda bless the readers. This is the sweetness of Krishna and Mother Yashoda. Srila Jiva Goswami in Gopal Champu, he writes, my heart is so hard. When I hear about Krishna, it doesn't melt. When I hear about baby Krishna, still it doesn't melt. When I hear about Mother Yashoda, still it doesn't melt. But when I hear about the interaction between Krishna and Mother Yashoda, my heart melts and becomes a butter, which that Krishna comes and steals away. This is the beauty of their relationship. So beautiful. One time Krishna was very naughty. It was late night and Mother Yashoda was trying to put him to sleep, but it won't work. So the Braja Gopis came and whispered into Mother Yashoda's ear, you got to tell him stories. Bedtime stories. So Mother Yashoda says, okay, let me think of a story and let me tell Krishna. Have you ever heard of Narasimha Dev hearing bedtime stories? Imagine what story would he hear and how. You tell him a good story. You tell him a bad story, you finished. He is a person who takes blood for Achuman. And he wears a garland of intestines. And he sits on Hiranyakashipu's throne. Very powerful being. Have you ever heard of Varahadev hearing bedtime stories? Well, they don't even have baby pastimes. Think of Narasimhadev having baby pastimes crawling around. Nobody would come to the temple. Narasimhadev crawling in the temple courtyard. Baby Narasimhadev. Baby Naru. But Krishna, being the Supreme Lord, has all the facets of beauty and sweetness in him. So Krishna told Mother Yashoda, yes, the Braja Gopis are saying this correct. You got to tell me good stories. So Mother Yashoda said, okay, let me try. She said, Krishna, a long time ago, there was a king by the name Hiranyakashipu. And he had a son called Prahlad. Krishna was like, Mother Yashoda said, cut to the chase, told the whole story. And then she finally came to the point where the pillar starts cracking. It starts cracking and moving. At that time, Krishna has a smile on his face because he knows that's the appearance of Narasimhadev. Krishna looks at Mother Yashoda and she says, Krishna tells Mother Yashoda, can you tell me some new story? I know this story already. Mother Yashoda said, how do you know this story? Krishna said, they are my pastimes after all. I was that person inside that pillar. Just like I was inside your womb, I was inside the womb of the pillar. Krishna said, Mother Yashoda said, oh, Krishna is learning all these mixed up, jumbled up stories, Mayavadi perception of stories from probably the villagers in Vrindavan. Okay, Krishna, I'll tell you another story. What's the other story? She says, long time ago, there was a king by the name Dasharath Maharaj. And he had a son by the name Sri Ram. Krishna said, Sri Ram had many brothers like Lakshmana, Bharata and Shatrughna. Krishna said, And one day, he lifted the bow, broke the bow, and got married to Mother Sita, who was so beautiful. And at that time, Krishna said, very beautiful. Yes. Then Mother Yashoda said, one day before his coronation, he was banished into the forest. Krishna said, Then what happened? The 10-headed wicked Ravana came to kidnap Mother Sita. And as Mother Yashoda started saying this, Krishna jumped on his bed and started saying, Lakshman, where is my bow? Where is my arrow? I want to destroy this Ravan. And Mother Yashoda goes, कहां से नौटंकी करता है? सबका उद्गम स्थान है तो फिर नौटंकी का भी उद्गम स्थान ठाकुर जी है. सब कुछ उनसे उदित होता है. Everything comes from him. So Krishna said, I want the bow. Get the bow. Mother Yashoda said, oh, you know the story as well? Of course. They are my pastimes after all. I am Ram. I am Narasingha. And now I have appeared as your child. Don't you understand this, oh mother? Yeah, right. You are Ram. You are Narasimha, and therefore, when there is a thunderstorm, there is a lightning, there is a rain shower, you hide behind my sari. When you're hungry, you climb on to drink my breast milk. At the time when you have to go to sleep, you need bedtime stories. You are Narayan yourself, and Narayan is always in yoga nidra. Nobody tells them bedtime stories to go to sleep. And you need all these bedtime stories. Yeah, right, you are the Supreme Lord. And Balram came running into that room and he said, Mother, this is true. What he's saying is true. He's actually Ram and I am Lakshman. He is Vishnu and I am Ananta. We always appear like this. And Mother Yashoda looks at Balram and said, oh, is it? How on earth is it that all these incarnations of Vishnu find their time and place to appear in my bedroom? And she picks up the stick and says, Balaram, do you want a spanking from me or are you getting out of this room? Okay, I thought it was my duty to tell you that, but it's fine. This is the pure, untainted, unalloyed love of Mother Yashoda. That she's able to capture Krishna and Balaram, who are the lords of this universe. That Mother Yashoda, sa grihitva kare Krishnam. She comes with a stick in her right hand to that secluded place. And with her left hand, she catches hold of Krishna. And Krishna's like, he's caught in action. Right in action. Krishna's putting mud into his mouth and Mother Yashoda catches him. And Krishna's completely quiet. The Acharyas describe, Mother Yashoda starts chastising Krishna. In text 32 and 33, Mother Yashoda is telling Krishna, Kasman mridam bhakshitavan. You tell me, why did you eat? Krishna, you tell me, why did you eat? And it's described, text 33 and 34, Mother Yashoda is trying to ask Krishna, but Krishna won't speak a word. Why? Because there's mud in his mouth. There's dirt in his mouth. So if he opens his mouth, he just proves Mother Yashoda's point stronger. So in text 35, Krishna starts speaking for the first time. Why? 33 and 34, he's busy with his tongue pushing the mud into his mouth. Because sometimes when you eat something, you may have some remnant in your mouth or between the teeth or upper palate or lower palate or whatever. So Krishna's eating dirt, and if Mother Yashoda says, open your mouth, then he's Kasman mridam. In 34, she says, Kasman mridam adantatman. Kasman mridam. Kasman means why? Adantatman. Adantatman means restless boy. Adanta. The word Adanta means independent. Adanta gobi vishatanta mishram punaha punaha charvita charvananam, as Prahlad Maharaj says. Adanta means independent, an Atman person. So Mother Yashoda is speaking a philosophical truth. Oh, most independent super soul, that Supreme Lord who's supremely independent, Adanta Atman, but at the same time with affection she's saying, you restless boy, Kasman mridam adantatman bhavan bhakshitavan. Why did you eat dirt? So with his eyes, Krishna is saying, I did not. I was always with my friends. How can I eat dirt? So Mother Yashoda is saying in the second line, Rahaha, in seclusion. You ate dirt in seclusion. So then Krishna is asking through his eyes, if I ate in seclusion, oh mother, how do you know? Aapko kisne bataya? I am always with my friends. So you're saying, no, Bhavan Bhakshitavan Rahaha. The word Raha means Rahasya, Gupt, Chupke. Rahaha. You have eaten in seclusion. So through his eyes, Krishna is asking, but how did you know? Mother Yashoda is saying, Vadanti. Oh, they all say, they all come and tell me. So Krishna thinks they means all the gopis, because in the previous chapter it's all been gopis. So Krishna, through his eyes, he's saying, yeah, after all, they are your gopis. They take your side after all. They are after all your gopis and your friends. That's why Mother Yashoda says, no, Vadanti, Tavaka, your gopas, not my gopis. Aapke friends. Krishna is thinking, is it? Are you sure? Mother Yashoda says, he, which means indeed, I am very sure. Sachi. And Krishna is looking around and through his eyes he says, they're all lying. Sab jhoot bol rahe. They're all lying. So Mother Yashoda says, impossible. Kumaraha. They're all less than 5-year-old. And those who are younger than 5-year-old, whatever they speak is as truthful as the Vedas. So how can they lie? Are you following the conversation? Mother Yashoda is saying, Krishna, you have eaten dirt. Krishna is saying, no, I was always with my friends. And he's not opening, just through the eyes. I was always with my friends. No, in seclusion, Raha. Then how do you know? Vadanti, they told me. After all, they are your friends. Tavaka, your friends. Are you sure? He, indeed. Yeah, they told me, I'm sure. They're all lying. Kumaraha. They're all less than 5-year-olds. How can they lie? No, they're still lying. To that Mother Yashoda says, Agraja api ayam vadati. Even your brother Balram is telling me the same thing. Now Krishna, the speaker of Dharma, Dharmantu Sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam, is himself in Chakravyu, Dharma Sankat. Because he cannot say his brother is lying. And if he says the brother is speaking truth, which means he is lying, what does Krishna do? Mother, I have to tell you something. All through the eyes. I have to tell you something. This brother, Balaram, is only namesake brother. He is just like my friends. Oh mother, I am like an eyeball and Balaram is like an eyelid. The eyelid protects the eyeball from other disturbances. So I am like an eyeball, he is like an eyelid, and that's how it's supposed to be. But can I tell you something, mother? I need an eyelid from this eyelid. I need protection from him. Mother Yashoda is saying, why so, O Krishna? Krishna says, you know what this Balaram does? In public he mocks me. Mother Yashoda is saying, okay, give me an example. See, O mother, this Balaram, he comes in public with all my friends, and when they try to praise me, he comes out there and in public he starts asking me questions like, oh Krishna, I want to ask you something very personal, just heart to heart. Krishna saying, yeah, brother, Agraja, oh, you are older than me, you have appeared before me, please ask me. You're like my father, in the absence of my father. Please tell me. Balaram says, Mother Yashoda is fair complexioned. Nanda Maharaj is fair complexioned. Krishna, I am fair complexioned. How are you dark complexioned? And if yes, how are you their child? And Krishna is speechless because Krishna is like, and Balaram is like, yeah, I'm waiting. I can hear you. Then as Krishna is choked with emotions, Balaram says, can I tell you the secret? you are not their child. You are actually born to someone else. And that person sold you off in a marketplace. And when you didn't have parents, Nanda Maharaj felt pity on you and he got you from a marketplace. And of course, they would never tell you that because you have a tender heart and it would break. But I cannot lie things to you. I have to be honest. And what's the proof for this? I am older than you. I have seen more world. ये बाल ऐसे सफेद नहीं हुए हैं. I have seen more of this world than you, O Krishna. So Krishna's tears streaming down his eyes. Ashru Kantha. Which means Krishna wants to speak through his mouth, but he's so much choked up with emotions that the words are traveling upwards and coming through the eyes as tears, wetting his throat. So Krishna goes home and tells Mother Yashoda, Mother Yashoda, you just get me married. I want to get married to someone. Now Krishna's about 2 years old. I want to get married off really quick. Mother Yashoda is saying, so why and what's your thought process, Krishna? Krishna says, look, Balram thinks I'm dark complexion, so in some way I'm inferior. Just get me married to somebody who's super beautiful. Then I would walk up to Balram and say, I am dark complexion, but I have a wife. I have a beautiful girl with me. You're fair complexion, but what have you got? Let me see. And Mother Yashoda says, okay, that's a very good proposal, Krishna. And also, do you have any girls in mind? Krishna goes, look, Mother, I'm very considerate. In Indian culture, it's not that the boy gets married to the girl, families get married to each other. So if I have to really see someone who's very close to Nanda Maharaj and at the same time close to you, I have seen that Vrishabhanu Maharaj is very close to Nanda Maharaj. And Mother Kirtida is very close to you. So just so that the families can be together, I think Vrishabhanu Nandini Srimati Radharani is a very good pick. It's a very beautiful Radhashtami story anyway. So all of this is going on through Krishna's eyes. Agraja, is that how a brother behaves? Oh Mother, I'm all by myself. What do I tell you? My life is filled with just thorns. Internally, emotionally, all of them get together and puncture my existence. The Acharyas are saying that Krishna is trying to change the topic from eating dirt and being caught to Balaram's character. So at that time, Mother Yashoda gets back to the topic and she says, wait a minute, Krishna. We will fix Balaram later. You tell me, why did you eat dirt? Is it that 1, you love dirt? 2, I don't give you anything at home? 3, you're going to die of hunger? What is it? At that time, Krishna is just looking around. He has no answer. He can speak, right? There's mud inside. So he's still trying to push and play with that mud inside. Can't speak a word. So the eyes are all over the place, looking down, looking to the side, looking on the top, and trying to avoid the situation. Now our poetic acharyas come into the way. They're saying, why were Krishna's eyes dancing? The first viewpoint is that out of fear, the Supreme Personality of Godhead completely forgot that he is Bhagavan. Naravat Leela. Stityud bhavantam bhuvanatrayasya yaha samihite nanta gunaswalilaya na tasya chitram paripakva nigraha tathapi martyanu vidhasya varanyate. That Supreme Lord who creates, maintains and destroys is now completely covered by Yogamaya Shakti. And he's completely believing that my only personality, my only identity is that I'm Yashodanandan. Nothing beyond, nothing less and nothing more. So out of fear, Krishna is trying to look around. Just try to avoid the situation. Second reason, that gives Krishna more time to swallow. Because if he's looking at Mother Yashoda, he can swallow in front of her. So he's looking around and trying to clear up his mouth with that dirt before he starts speaking. Third reason, Krishna is looking around to see who's that person who complained. Who is that friend? हाथ लग जाए एक बार तो मिट्टी के मुंह पर मार दूंगा. मेरे मुंह में उनके मुंह में ठूसूंगा. Not in my mouth. I'm going to give all that mitti into that person's mouth. Who is that person? So the eyes are dancing, looking around for the complainer. But my favorite out of the list, Sripad Hari Suriji comments that Krishna's eyes are the sun and the moon. This is Krishna's moon and this is Krishna's sun. And the sun and the moon are one out of the 13 witnesses for every activity. Every activity that we perform, Bhumi Devi, on whom we stand and perform, or sit and perform, is a witness. Second, Surya Dev during day, and Chandra Dev at night. 3, Vayu. For every activity to perform, we need Vayu. 4th, Agni. There's Agni inside our body. There's water in our body. Yamaraj. They're all like CCTV cameras. Like when you go into a mall, if there is someone who goes from one aisle to another and looks to the left, looks to the right, there's no one around, starts filling up all his pockets, only to look around, there's a CCTV camera. And then he goes, just let me go. There are people who literally do that, caught on CCTV cameras. Like they go to steal something and they're like, just between us. So just like that, we don't see the person seeing us, but we see the CCTV camera. They can see us, we can see them. Similarly, all these witnesses can see us for all our activities. They are like CCTV cameras, but we can see them. And if you say, but the CCTV camera can fail, or the footage can get corrupted, well, let's believe all of them get corrupted. But there's one CCTV camera who never gets corrupted. That's Paramatma within. So 2 out of those 13 witnesses are the sun and the moon, and they cannot lie. So Krishna's eyes, who are sun and moon, Hari Suriji writes, they are telling Krishna, Krishna, you are independent. You can speak the truth. You can speak the lie. You are the Supreme Lord. You can do whatever you want. But we being witnesses, we can't lie. So if Mother Yashoda asks us, we got to really tell her that you did eat dirt. But you are free. You can just say, I didn't eat dirt, or I ate dirt, or you're the absolute truth anyway. You can do. So we are stuck between 2 camps. On one side, we want to take your side, but you're speaking lies, so we can't take your side. And if you go on Mother Yashoda's side, we are not on your side. So either way we are in trouble. Krishna, just excuse us. Let us get out of this situation. So in this way, Krishna's eyes, the sun and moon, start leaving the situation by looking around. Is this clear? So at this time, when Mother Yashoda is asking all these questions, Krishna is completely convinced that he has swallowed dirt, and he's almost about to speak in text 35, which will continue tomorrow. Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki jai, Hari Katha Hari Kirtan ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Gaur Prabhupada.